Argument 3. The Book of Mormon was plagiarized from other books. Other critics offered a different line of attack, namely that Joseph Smith plagiarized the Book of Mormon, at least its historical content, from other existing books. One such theory alleged that Joseph Smith copied from the Solomon Spaulding manuscript, an unpublished manuscript written about 1812 by a man named Solomon Spaulding, who had once been a Protestant minister. It is a fictional account of ancient Romans who were sailing for England but were blown off course and landed in North America. When the critics were asked to produce the manuscript for comparison with the Book of Mormon, they conveniently claimed it was lost. However, with the passage of time, the manuscript was found in 1884 by a Mr. L.L. Rice. He found the alleged smoking gun in the personal historical papers of one of the very critics who claimed the manuscript was lost. Knowing of its alleged connection to the Book of Mormon, Mr. Rice, Mr. James Fairchild, and others, none of whom were members of the LDS Church, reviewed it and concluded, quote, "We compared it with the Book of Mormon and could detect no resemblance between the two in general or in detail," end of quote. When I was in my 20s, I saw a notice from the church history department which stated that a copy of the Solomon Spaulding manuscript could be purchased for $1. I ordered a copy and likewise found no meaningful relationship whatsoever between the two books. With the demise of this argument, critics allege that the supposed source for the Book of Mormon was another book titled View of the Hebrews, written by Ethan Smith in 1823. This book was an attempt to prove that the Native Americans were descendants of the lost 10 tribes of Israel. In essence, the critics claimed that this was the historical basis for the Book of Mormon. There is a simple test, however, to determine if the Book of Mormon was copied from View of the Hebrews. Simply compare the two books and decide for yourself. With complete academic honesty, B.H. Roberts, one of the leading scholars of the church, listed some possible parallels between the two books, but then reached this conclusion: I am taking the position that our faith is not only unshaken but unshakable in the Book of Mormon, and therefore we can look without fear upon all that can be said against it. Shortly before his death, Roberts further declared, Ethan Smith played no part in the formation of the Book of Mormon. I too have read View of the Hebrews and the Book of Mormon. Suffice it to say, these two books have totally different objectives and writing styles. For example, the Book of Mormon's principal focus is to testify of Jesus Christ and his doctrine. Accordingly, the historical setting is not the focus, but rather the background music that gives context and emphasis to the doctrine. The principal focus, however, for View of the Hebrews is to historically connect the Native Americans to the ancient Hebrews. In addition, View of the Hebrews is a series of independent quotes and purported evidences to prove its theory. On the other hand, the Book of Mormon